Hello and welcome. This is Not So Live and this is Double R and this is episode 16. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about different events in certain films, mainly just two films. So if anyone's watched the Disney Plus series What If, it's a Marvel creation and it just takes, it's animated, so it takes different Marvel films but there's a twist to it, and I wondered if this would work in any other films. The first film that I thought about, I actually watched it not long back, was the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. And I wondered if at the start, when Frodo and Sam leave Bilbo's party and Frodo goes into the house and Sam says goodbye, in the film we all know Sam's eavesdropping the conversation from the bush underneath the window, and Gandalf catches him and forces him to accompany Frodo, and we all know what happens. I wonder, what if that he'd never eavesdropped, that he'd just gone home, he hadn't bothered to go back or to see what was being said. Frodo would have still gone on the journey, and I reckon he'd have still bumped into Merry and Pippin. Now I know there's a scene where they've just met Merry and Pippin and they fall down the embankment onto the road, and Frodo has this weird, I don't know if it's a vision or something happens, and he tells them to get off the road, and then they end up hiding on, it's like a big tree branch, or big tree root, sorry, and they're hiding under the embankment, and one of them hooded riders, I can't think of the name, but they appear and he sort of leans over and Frodo has the urge to put the ring on. Now it was Sam that stopped him, so I'm just wondering, if Sam hadn't been there, would Frodo have revealed himself and put the ring on, or would one of the other two have been able to stop him putting the ring on, although they wouldn't have known what was going on? But could you imagine how mad it would have been for Sam if Frodo had have made it all the way through all them perils and God knows what else with Merry and Pippin? They'd have saved Middle Earth, destroyed the ring. They'd have come back, I don't know if it was like a year or 2 years later, and Sam would have been like, what happened to you? One night we were there having a few jars, drinking and laughing and stuff. Next day, disappeared. And it's like, what happened? And then you'd have to tell him this mad story that he joined up with elves and dwarves and fought orcs and helped Gandalf and destroyed the Ring of Power in Mount Doom, and he'd be like, no chance, you know what, why am you even lying to me? It's just like, that's just some fairy tale, crap. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a, daydreaming thought if you think about it, but it's just something that sometimes you just ponder, if you added something from a TV series into a film, how the film would turn out. I don't reckon Frodo would have made it. I reckon he'd have either been caught or killed. There was too many things in the film where Sam actually saved him, but you never know. And the other film is The First Die Hard. It's I've not watched it for a while, but I do know that he travels from New York to LA to see his ex-wife, and I don't know if she's got a kid, and she's at that party the Japanese person owns, and I can't think of the name of the tower, and it's why he's there that Goober decides to take over and basically held it to ransom. So imagine if he'd have never showed up, Bruce Willis's character, you know, he'd have just been like that. I ain't giving, can't be bothered. The events would have still happened, but he just wouldn't have been there to stop it. So it's weird, and I mean, I need to rewatch the film, to be fair. So if anyone's watched it or is a big fan of the dog, I mean, I do enjoy the films, but I've not watched it for some time. But I definitely know that he goes to, I think it's Los Angeles, and the party, it's a New Year's Eve party, I think, and that's when all hell breaks loose and stuff, and he ends up saving the day. So yeah, just a few little things to talk about in this episode. I couldn't think of any more films. So if anyone's got a film that they've watched or that they know of and they think, well, if you take this certain character out, it doesn't really change. It changes the film, but I wonder what would have happened if the character hadn't been in the film. I'm trying to think. No, I can't think of another film where you've got two characters. I suppose you could use the same situation in Rocky. If he hadn't met Paulie's sister, I don't think he'd have been as good as a fighter and as determined as he was. I think she was no pun intended, she was the rock, because I know she gives him the heads up. I think it's the second one where he fights. Where he fights Apollo Creed, and she has the baby, and then she tells him, you need to do it, and then he starts training really hard. And I know definitely she talks to him in Rocky 3 on the beach and tells him it's okay to be afraid, and then he goes in and he beats Clubber Lang. So maybe would he have had the same thing in the films if she hadn't been there? Who knows? You know, you take one character out, it can change the outlook of the film. So yeah, I don't know so much. I think she does help him a little bit in Rocky, is it 4, when he fights Ivan Drago, but he's already predetermined. I think just being there just gives him a bit more spark. But I know definitely in Rocky 3 she sort of tells him to open up, and then his mind becomes more clearer. So yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's just me rambling on just about different stuff, but please, if you know of a film and you think, well, if such and such were in this film, or would it have changed the film but it'd still be the same film, please leave a comment. It's much appreciated, and thank you for the views and the likes. I do appreciate them, and I'm grateful as well. It means a lot, and I will be back again on Friday. I'm going to take a day off, so I hope you're all enjoying the week, and I hope you're all looking forward to the weekend, and I will see you all Friday.